It is now 9 o'clock. We're meeting in the Central Jury Room at the Hood County Justice Center. So the meeting is called order. Commissioner Roan, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings on the proceedings of the day. Give us the wisdom and the ability to make decisions that are done well on behalf of the county. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
You join me, please, as we pledge the flag of our great country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want me to pledge to Texas?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Bob, we have special presentations today.
Yes, sir. Judge, Commissioners, we have a number of people who are getting awards today. We'll start out with the Road Ups people. Marion Boots Fowler has been with the county for 5 years. And one of our long-term employees, Paul Bolton, is celebrating his 20th anniversary with the county.
All right.
And from the Law Enforcement Center, we have Kelly Montalongo, who is celebrating her 5 years with the county. Cromwell, who's celebrating 5 years with the county. Then from Animal Control, we have Frank Hackett, who's been here for 5 years. And last, we have Barry Jepson with the Maintenance Group, and he's been with the county for 5 years.
Thank you, Bob. Next is, does any citizen wish to make any comments about anything on the agenda? If so, I don't see the sheriff. Oh, Brian, are you the sheriff today? Okay, if anybody has any, would you raise your hand? Any comments about any agenda item? And Brian will give you or sheriff will, the form. Anyone? Okay, thank y'all very much. Next is the consent agenda. Does anybody have any thing on the consent agenda that they'd like to pull off?
I just have a question, please.
Okay.
H2 is about the encumbered list, but then I see in business part of section 8B3, are they not the same? Or is that just purchase orders and others that's already been bought? I mean,
it looks like it's a big.
Yeah, I think it is.
So, okay.
that was my question. So when we have Stan, when we have a list, or will you talk about any of those open, or does Stan have a list?
I have a list.
Okay, that's fine. But they are the same, right?
So we can scratch the one off the consent agenda.
So the motion should include all except item 2 under H, and because that'll be covered somewhere else. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
A motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Roan. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay.
Subdivision.
Let's see. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Lenny.
Judge Cochran, Commissioners, this is the road mileage. Runs from the term of August of 2011, August the 1st, through July 31st of this year. Currently, the county does maintain 446.28 miles of roadways in the county road system. In your packet on the second page, you can see what we've done this past year. We've accepted Humphreys Court at 2408, but then we did a partial abandonment of Huddleston Road, 1606. Both of these roads are located in precinct number 2. So in essence, we gained 0.15 of a mile. On the next page, you'll notice each precinct, your mileage, your percentage that's paved. Overall, the county has, on the county road system, is 98.92% paved. And down at the bottom, you'll see that what's remaining of the gravel roads in each of your precincts. And then the last page is what's going to become effective in January if everything stays like it is. Redistricting boundaries. And you'll also see what remaining gravel roads are in your precinct at that time. Road Operations recommends approving the certification of the county road system mileage.
So moved.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Roan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Heatherington to approve the certification of the county maintained roads mileage for as of July 31st, 2012. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Judge.
Development and compliance, nothing? Okay, thank you very much.
Good report, Don.
Budget and finance.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. The first item is for you to hear and consider request for budget amendments. This is the last Commissioners Court of our fiscal year, which will end on September 30th. So this will be the last opportunity to consider any budget amendments for this fiscal year. Now, the first 3 items have to do with investigation expenses of the District Attorney's Office. They have run more than were anticipated, and to cover that, the District Attorney is asking to move $2,235 from expert testimony into education, travel, and training, and $2,000 from expert testimony into the investigation line, and $650 from books and publications into supplies. The Fire Marshal is requesting to move $500 out of telecommunications into the part-time compensation line. Our outside auditors have recommended to me that we reimburse Fund 69 out of the general fund for $115,153. And that is for the SECO grant that the state refused to pay. So the request is to take that out of the general contingency line. That would be 010-409-497, and that would cover the deficit in that account. Constable Precinct 4 is asking to move $56.35 from education and travel into books and publications, and also $150 into dues and subscriptions. In the county judge office, the request is to move $2,800 into mental commitment hearings to cover the cost of additional mental commitments that were not anticipated, $900 from supplies, $150 from bonds, $1,000 from outside court reporters, $250 from contract interpreter, and $500 from the special judge line. Those are the requests for your considerations. I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you might have about them.
Anybody have want to talk about any of these and discuss them?
I do have a question about item 4, fire marshal part-time.
Okay.
Is that for the remainder of this budget year, the next 6 days, basically?
Yes, sir, it's just to make sure we get enough vendors covered. We're going to be a little bit short instead of the treasurer and auditor have to make a change. That's the auditor will be up.
Okay. You're aware that's a budget that we've discussed 2 years in a row as being a problematic issue there, when in fact we could have saved some money, I think, over the last 2 years by reducing that.
Yes, sir, there was something with several things that occurred over this budget year with having to bring them in on some extra cases, court time and stuff like that's where we ran over.
Brian, is this pretty much for weekend?
This covers Friday night through Monday morning, and in addition to that, then if we need extra help when we got some big events going on and stuff like that, we bring them in as well.
Well, I think the point I'm trying to make is that if we had 5 days, 6 days to go, rather than cover the cost of that weekend, I think you could have made other arrangements through readjusting your staff to cover that weekend.
We've tried, but we're also cutting it close with those guys on their hours. With them being on a 28-day cycle, we're actually having to cut them short on some other days during the week to make sure that they're staying under those, or staying at that 160 hours. We went back and looked at it, and because the 28-day cycle with the 160 hours versus the 171, they've given a lot of time to the county for free is what it's turned out over the last 2 years. And so I didn't want to task them with anything extra right now.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions on any of the budget line item amendments?
Stan, would you just explain to the court about Fund 69? Basically, it's an inter-county transfer from general contingency back to Fund 69 for the SECO grant, correct?
Yes, that's true, Commissioner. And what we have right now is a situation where the county has not spent all of the money that was appropriated for general contingencies. And in my view, the failure of the state to fund their commitment on the SECO grant certainly qualifies as a contingency. As of September 30th, that budget will go away. So what I would suggest is make use of that and cover the deficit in Fund 69. There is presently an overdraft of $115,153 in that project fund because we had anticipated reimbursed costs from the state, which never materialized.
You know how many grants that we had this fiscal year that we were told that were great deals, and obviously we didn't get paid back? Was there 2 or 3 that happened?
There were 2 large ones and 1 smaller one. One of them, this SECO grant, one of them, of course, the Texas Historical Commission, and the other one, I believe it's the Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission, refused to pay the overtime grant for the sheriff's deputies on the Underage Drinking Law Enforcement Act. That was a smaller grant. That was under $8,000, I believe, on that one.
Stan, do we have any appeal process or recourse to the state when we count on these offers and then they back out of them?
Most of those contracts, Commissioners, have a clause in them that says any disputes will be handled through the existing mediation facility that the state provides. I don't know of any, I'm not an attorney, but I don't know of any recourse the county would have in the courts as far as the state is concerned. And of
Are we
course,
participating in the mediation portion?
SECO grant we did. I mean, SECO grant, we went through, no telling how many man hours from the treasurer's office, the auditor's office, the SO, because one of the clerks up there took it over and tried, and it's basically asking for itemized statements from Train, which we have no control over getting, but they're asking for itemized wage statements for the people that worked on that. Is that not correct?
yes, that's true. I believe on the Texas Historical Commission, members of the court did actually appeal through the governor's office.
Oh, we did.
To come up with a resolution on that one, and still the county lost, I believe, about $364,000 of what the Texas Historical Commission had committed to fund.
When we lost 115 here then because of the air conditioner grant.
And we're still inviting them to our dedication. Huh?
True. Well,
Get them up here and kill them.
I mean, we got the equipment, but we're going to get reimbursed on it, and it's not going to happen that way.
yes, and the air conditioner grant, that may have been ill-fated from the beginning. Everything that could be known about that grant was known at the beginning, I believe, when Tom made the application. And I don't think it would have been very difficult for the state to properly evaluate that and reject the application, in which case we would not have spent the money and we would not have counted on them. But they said as a condition that the funds from the grant had to provide additional jobs. And the condition of the grant was they were going to install one HVAC unit and they were going to install one computer control unit. And that was known from the beginning, and it was not difficult to see that. But the state came up with this last condition very late in the game, 2 years after we had completed the work. And I just believe that was something that was not properly addressed at the time Tom made the application, and it should have been addressed at that time.
But it looks like it's another one of those deals where the state moved the goalpost after the ball was in the air.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's how it seems to me. Of course, I believe their perspective is different.
Well, of course it is.
Well, I think the lesson learned here is I think we need to be very careful going forward on grants and certainly looking at the end results of what they expect, what their expectations are.
Make a motion
Will we
to
accept
approve
those
the
again?
amendment, Judge.
Okay, I have a motion made to approve those line item by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington. Is any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Maybe the other thing we need to do is have Don put borders up and not allow anybody from state agencies in Hood County again.
Good luck with that, I tell you. All right, consider payment of bills for the period of September the 1st through September the 17th.
Judge and Commissioners, the total of the bills that have been listed for your consideration come to $519,587.17. Probably the largest item on there is the transfer, the interfund transfer of $115,153 that we just discussed. Then to Ben E. Keith, $11,257.81 for jail groceries. To ComData, $25,807.89 for purchases on the fuel card. To Fund 112, which is an accounting fund for indigent defense attorney fees, $30,102.32. To Emergency Apparatus Service, $12,155.23 for repair and service on fire protection vehicles. To Ergon Asphalt and Emulsion, $41,049.48 for road ops materials. To J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, $15,487.56. That's for various credit card purchases of supplies and travel and investigation expenses. To Somerville County, $28,918 for out-of-county inmates to be housed. And then there's $66,612 to VFIS of Texas for insurance on the fire protection program. And the last item I'd bring to your attention in particular is payment to Teague, Knoll, and Perkins for engineering services on the TxDOT project, and that would be $25,448.80. That's from Fund 62, which as yet has not been funded. But if you choose to pay that one, then what I would recommend is showing that there is a balance due that fund from the general fund to cover the shortage there.
You mean following October 1st?
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any other questions for Stan on these?
Move we ratify paying the bills.
Okay, have a motion made to ratify the payment of bills. Second? Seconded by Commissioner Roan. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consider the incumbency.
Commissioners, since this is the end of our fiscal year, at the close of September 30th, the present budget will lapse. And by operation of law, it will be of no effect after September 30th. There have been certain purchase orders that have been issued and are outstanding and have not been delivered on, and the purchases have not been made, the goods and services have not yet been received. Unless the court takes action to formally encumber those specific purchase orders, they will also lapse and then be reissued against next year's budget. And so I believe the purchasing agent has presented a list of those purchase orders to you for your consideration in case you wanted to encumber those, and we can either hold those items open on the budget, or we can actually add those to next year's budget, whichever seems to be appropriate. Nelda, do you want to make any comments about these?
What kind of a total are we talking about?
Pardon?
What kind of a total are we talking about encumbering?
How much money, Nelda?
I know the county clerk's profile is on there, that alone is $94,000.
That's for the imaging?
Yes. And then there's the larger ones are $12,000, which is for the SEMA, through the computer department. There's a $5,000 one from the computer department to the $2,700 to the county clerk for Tyler uploading images. The first trucks that were having redone.
Remounted.
Yeah. $19,472. There's another couple that are $1,200, $2,500. There's 16 total purchase orders, which is down from previous.
We've already approved those, but everybody has them in their budget. We've already talked about them, correct?
Right.
Motion to approve the encumbered purchase list.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Barry, seconded by Commissioner Roan to approve the formal encumbrances of those open purchase orders. Any further discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank
you. Miscellaneous. I believe, Courtney, you're up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. The Texas State Library and Archives Commission accepted the library's fiscal year 2011 annual report and notified the library that We are still accredited and fully qualified members of the Texas Library System for this state fiscal year 2013. This means that the library is eligible for TextShare databases, TextShare cards, and the interlibrary loan system we use. The fiscal 2011 annual report was formatted differently this year. The previous reports had 2 columns, the previous fiscal year along with the current fiscal year I'm reporting on. We do not have last year's column along with the fiscal 2011 year, unfortunately. So I'd like to take this time to go over some of the main highlights of the report. Our collection totals for fiscal 2011 are 59,012 items. Circulation of children's materials, 50,892. Total circulation, 157,093. And total number of library programs, 141. This is possibly reduced because of from 167 last year because we had to cut some hours due to a staff position not being filled. Total attendance at these library programs, even though we had fewer programs, we had more attendance. 4,151 came. The gate count for this reported year, 136,997. Number of registered borrowers, 25,294 people. We do weed them out and delete according to obituaries, not active for 5 years, that sort of thing. Total number of computer uses, 27,694. Total number of public service hours, 2,475. Now, on this slide that you'll see on your screen, you'll see the total checkouts for each fiscal year, 1999 through 2011. This includes renewals, in-house use, that sort of thing. And we have jumped 33.4% from last reported year.
Even with reduced hours.
A good jump is 14,000. That's a really good jump. So to have this 40,000 more is pretty impressive. Kind of shocked us all. That's why we're so tired at the end of the day, I believe.
That's the reason you came, right?
Right. The next slide is total checkouts for each fiscal year 1999 through 2012. And I added our 2012 in right now so you can see where we are right now. We're already above last year. And we're not even finished yet. So this was as of end of August 2012. So we're continually growing and serving a larger population, as you all know. Okay, I'd be happy to answer any questions you all have about this report. You all have the whole report. I gave them to you a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. This is a great report. You're doing a really good job. Anybody have anything else for Courtney?
It's interesting that even though our hours have been reduced, and it's a sizable number of hours, our total circulation and our visits are still way above last year.
Hours were only reduced for 2 months, so it was good that it was a short amount of time, too.
Good report, Courtney.
Well, do I have a motion?
Take A and B together and move them separately.
Let's do them all together.
Thank you.
I'll take
Motion to approve the report and also the accreditation.
Second.
All right, have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Roan to approve the annual report for the fiscal year 2011 and for the accreditation fiscal year 2011. Any further discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Again, thank you, Courtney. Great job. Consider and take appropriate action regarding a regional public defender capital case program. We have been discussing that, and I talked to Commissioner Roan this morning. Do you want to?
I'd like to employ our district attorney, if I could, for a second to comment on some of the things we discussed this morning regarding the potential for us being perhaps misrated by this organization offering this, because it is experience rated, And our experience by their rules should go back 10 years, but we think they're counting more than that, correct?
First of all, I think it's a good idea, you know, capital defense. When we discussed it, I was telling Mr. Ron, they talked about going back 10 years, the number of cases where the state is probably not the proceeded out. Bobby Woods was
14 years ago.
I understand that if we go in 3 for the first year, is that right?
Yes, sir. But I think we also commit to years 2, 3, 4, and 5 as far as the published rate that they've given us, which is a total of about $111,000. So.
I think that's something I would just address with them. Exactly how they do that number. They go back 15 years. But I remember them talking to me. Bobby Woods' case,
Yeah.
was over 10.
So would it be fair to consider having you discuss with them those 2, 3, 4, and 5 year rates as compared to the first year, and allow us to table this just until they confirm that they can't come up with a better, perhaps a better rate over that 5-year period?
I don't know, Commissioner Ron, I think that the issue is we have a death penalty, capital murder, heaven forbid. It's kind of like waiting to buy insurance on your house. Just hoping to have a fire.
Yeah.
It seems like they were here discussing, I think they're talking to they seem to be flexible. I think they want us to follow this in this regional, multi-county group for region. I think above and beyond what we think of involvement. I think they want us to be part of the work. I don't know what action we're going to take today. I don't know if we want to do the other side or what.
Well, I mean, I think under the structure of insurance, it's a good idea, because that the definition is taking the risk of a few and spreading it over many. So the more the many, the further you spread it. But my question also was, we didn't get a chance to discuss it this morning, is I understand that this does not cover appeals. And that's automatic in a death sentence. So what is the normal cost of that compared to the trial portion of a capital case?
I really don't know. One, I don't pay those bills, and second, we've only had one, and that started 14 years ago. So and I don't know even if it was County to handle that appeal. Accurately gauge what an appeal costs by just looking at one or two. So
Yeah, that's.
I don't know that I have that information for you. But you are right. But I do think that there are significant costs. The attorney fees for the trial, I understand that they continue. They also pay for the per diem, which would be a if you had it. And I think
The only thing I would say, Mr. Roan, not to, I mean, it says here, when the notes I'm looking at, you have a 6-month notice to drop out. When I started on the court, we had $500,000 in capital murder contingency. We've had to keep lowering that every year to make budgets meet everybody's expectations. You know, it says here the second year is 9833, and the maximum is 32,778 in year 6. It's still considerably less than $500,000.
Yeah, it is. You're right. That's what I said. It's 111,000 thereabouts over the total 6-year period, including the first year being free. So my question was, as I asked the judge yesterday, you know, if we encumber $100 grand a year and get lucky as we've been for 14, we're $400,000 ahead every 5 years. But if we aren't lucky, then, you know, we end up having to borrow money to do the case. So it's it's strictly how you feel about putting together an insurance policy. I agree with you that it's probably a better idea, number one, not only for cost savings, but number two, like you mentioned this morning, I think the potential is there for an accused to get a better defense.
Sure, I mean, because you have to
Yeah.
so, we as a county know that.
The only thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to miss the boat. I looked at all three of these sheets. There's no deadline to get on here, but it looks like they're opening Region 8, and that's why they're adding to this. Region 1 is basically filled out, which is all of Northeast Texas. Region 8 goes from Archer all the way to Young and Wise and Parkland, Somerville.
Right.
You know, would you be opposed to allowing either the judge or the district attorney to move forward with this, asking those kind of questions about what was already been talked about?
No, not at all. Yeah, if we have 6 months to get out and we have the first year at no charge, we have time to study and discuss it. Stan?
It says on my notes, expect October 1st, which is just a week from now, I understand, to receive an interlocal agreement. So, you know, I think if we do this today, it still gives the judge, Cockerham, an opportunity to, or the DA an opportunity to ask about the capital murder case that's in question.
Stan?
Sure.
I don't know if it has been discussed. When I attended that meeting where the representatives from the Public Defender's Office came here, they also brought with them a representative from the Task Force on Indigent Defense. And he said this program has both a carrot and a stick approach. Mm-hmm. And there are penalties that if the county is invited to participate but declines, then some of the statutory provisions that are there presently for us to go back and recoup unusual, extraordinary expenses of hosting a capital murder trial, those will be denied if the county has refused or declined to participate in this program.
And too, let me also add that when we were out in Lubbock at a meeting out there, they returned about $400,000, I believe, whatever the amount was, that they had collected and not used. So they returned those back to the counties, you know, that divided up among, you know, maybe 50 counties or whatever. But still, they're, you know, if they don't spend it, then, you know, it's not it doesn't go back into the general fund. They return it back to the counties. So,
well, the district attorney may know more about the process of claiming reimbursement or requesting reimbursement for extraordinary expenses of holding a trial.
Well, it says that the investigation cost, mitigation specialist, but it excludes appeals. So, right?
That's what the man said.
Okay. All right, Steve, did you make a motion that we approve this?
I think it's worth looking into. I think we don't want to miss the boat. I mean, and I still think with a 6-month exclusion here that we can drop out. I don't know why we would or what circumstances you would, but motion to approve this based on the fact allowing the DA or the county judge to ask that question on the 10-year or 12-year capital murders case, just to see about our rate.
Okay, yeah.
I would second it based on that recommendation.
Okay, I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Roan, to continue on with this regional public defender for capital case program and with a rate review. Any further discussion? And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consider and take appropriate action to approve plan changes to the nationwide deferred compensation plan.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. This was on the court agenda last court, and I asked that you waive on it so that Kelton, our county attorney, could review it some more. What it is, Hood County offers a deferred compensation plan to our employees if they choose to participate. It's not a county liability. It's not a county funded in any way. Because we offer this, we're referred to as a plan sponsor. Now that some of our employees have college-age kids, they've come to me and asked me, how can they withdraw their funds? Well, there's really no way to withdraw them unless they do a loan. Come to find out, we do not participate in the loan process through Nationwide. We don't have it as part of the plan. The representative sent me the documentation to sign up to add that to our plan. Again, I want to stress this is not a county liability in any way. We simply act as payroll deduction and remittance to the vendor. Kelton has signed off, not signed off on this. Kelton did say it looked okay on September the 10th. I bring it back before you today. I ask that you include in your motion authorizing the county judge to sign this so that I can get it back to Nationwide.
And does anybody have any questions for Kathy on this?
I would make the motion that we authorize the judge to sign and return this plan.
Second.
All right, a motion made by Commissioner Roan, seconded by Commissioner Simpson, to allow the county judge to sign the nationwide deferred compensation plan, referred to as NACO. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Consider and take appropriate action regarding the interlocal agreement from Erath County housing inmates.
Judge and Commissioners, we now have a solid contract that we've used for years with Somerville County. Their jail is not that big, so they house all my females. They, at times, get almost, well, they do get full, and then we transfer them over to Johnson County, a few at a time. They have recently got back all their federal contracts, so there's times when they send us messages that they cannot take any inmates. So I'd like to get another agreement with another close-in county. Erath County just built onto their jail, so they've got a brand new, basically a brand new jail that could take good care of us, and it's only 32 miles away. So I brought this before you today, but I've been so busy with other business here recently, I didn't get this over to the county attorney yet. The contract is basically identical to the Somerville County contract. So I bring this before you today and ask that you approve it with, after the county attorney looks at it and gives his blessing to it. But it's the same as the Somerville County contract.
Same rates too?
No, it'll be $45 a day on this one. We're getting a heck of a deal with Somerville County, so it's way cheaper. But 45 is a good deal, so I'd like to ask that we move forward on this just so we'll have it, because we probably will need to take some prisoners over there from time to time.
So we can make a motion to approve this based upon the county attorney's approval of the contract?
Yes, if that's possible.
So moved.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Roan to approve the interlocal agreement with Erath County for the housing of inmates from the Hood County Jail for $45, depending on the county attorney's approval of the contract, which it's already been approved by Erath County Sheriff and County Judge.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
All right. Do I have a second? Second. Seconded by Commissioner Simpson. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Consider and take appropriate action to authorize the signing of the following documents for the AMUD Port Ridgely project. Chloe?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Judge and Commissioners, my name is Chloe Richards. I work with GrantWorks. We have a project, a continuation of first-time sewer service in the Ridgely subdivision. AMUD has completed 2 of these projects in the past with your help, and we're asking to make application to that program again.
Anybody have any questions with Chloe on this?
It looks like they're going to do about 20 hookups, I believe it is, on this cycle.
The scope of the project should include about 20 qualifying hookups. They'd be available for some non-qualified.
I think this is one grant that works.
Yeah.
I know, did you like that play on words? Grant works?
I was a little nervous about your previous discussion.
Yeah.
But I understand the SECO confusion. I
understand that's working with the state.
So it was
different.
not easy.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Heatherington to approve this. There's a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roan. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Chloe. A resolution authorizing the submission of the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application for the Department of Agriculture. Who's handling this?
It's all in the same deal.
That's a continuation.
Oh, it is.
It's the same thing. yeah.
Did we just approve all of that?
We did.
Yes.
Take care of
Yeah, that will.
Oh,
that'll take care
okay,
of the
very
year.
good then. Well, thank you very much. You did a good job on the second time up, so. All right, item number 6 is consider and take appropriate action on the kiosk. This is a item that was on the last Commissioners Court meeting, August 28th, really, and that we approved, and that further review has shown that government code, local government code, section 268 indicates that the county has certain restrictions regarding leasing certain property owned by the county, and the court must discuss this further. So what I would love to do is the court rescind the vote that we did on the 28th until we can further investigate what we can and cannot do under the laws of the state of Texas.
Second.
Who seconded?
I do.
Okay, I have a motion made by Commissioner Heatherington, seconded by Commissioner Simpson to rescind this order for the kiosk. Any further discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Consider and take appropriate action regarding the selection process for the 2 director positions for the HCAD Board of Directors. 2 directors positions are to be filled. One is currently occupied by Brian Thomas, whose term will expire, and one is a vacant position held by Charlie Cloud. As you know, Charlie moved to Weatherford. So Brian Thomas expressed a willingness to serve another term if elected, and these terms will expire on December the 31st, 2012. So before October the 12th, each taxing unit may nominate 1 candidate to fill the positions.
One candidate for each position?
Each made one candidate for each position. So what's your pleasure on this?
Well, one of them has agreed to continue to serve.
One of them, you want ours to be Brian Thomas?
Mm-hmm. I would recommend it. Of course, it says from each taxing unit. Is that, you're talking about by precinct?
No, it's talking about the county, city.
Okay.
So you're making the motion?
I'd make the motion that we nominate Brian Thomas to continue.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Berry seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you. Consider and take appropriate action to discuss and... Whoa.
We've got to nominate someone else yet.
Oh, I thought it said 1 candidate. Okay.
One for each position.
All right, then y'all have another one?
Cullen Crisp is still wanting to be on there.
I'll second that if that's a motion.
Yeah.
All right, have a motion made by Commissioner Rowan, seconded by Commissioner Berry to nominate Brian.
Made by Heatherington.
Heatherington. Okay. For Cullen Crisp. Any further discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, consider and take appropriate action to discuss and approve the implementation and moving forward on the online order and process supplies for Hood County from Staples. I thought we've already done that. Didn't we do that a long time ago?
We talked about it, but there was no formal agreement done that we would move forward. This is just so everybody is on the same page, knows what we're doing. What we gave Staples was a year ago. The prices were from a year ago, so I went back a few weeks ago and took pricing from 3 to 4 weeks and did an analysis of it again. After our presentation this summer, Martin's had said that they had lowered their pricing, and we went back and checked it with their current pricing. We actually took the invoices that we got for these items, and I compared them to the website that we would be using for Staples. And of all the orders that we did, which we looked at 19 orders, the county would have saved $313.78 by using Staples. With that in mind, I would like to move forward with trying to implement using them for all county purchases, for office supplies, possibly even janitorial and other things as we get further into the program. This savings does not take into account any rebates that we will earn through the buy board by using Staples, which is a 3% at the end of the year. And Staples, depending on our volume, up to the first 100,000 is a 1% savings.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Simpson. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Nelda. All right, item number 9 was put on and then taken off, so it will not, and that was published. So item number 10 is consider and take appropriate action to renew the lease with the 1322 Biloxi pursuant to county judge at the request of Megan Drake of the Hood County Medical Group. I believe that Kelton has reviewed the lease for the property located at 1322 Biloxi Road, and we've increased the rent on this, and that's in agreement with the hospital. So the end of, but the end of term for the terminated has been reduced from 90 to 30 days, and that's really the only change. The rental amount and the term of the contract.
Motion approved.
This is the clinic, right?
Yes. Motion made by Commissioner Berry to Commissioner Heatherington, seconded. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I might explain that increase in rent was not just a wave of the hand increase. That is part of the IGT, or the intergovernmental transfer money that goes to the 1115 waiver program, Kathy, that we discussed earlier. And so we will be getting credit back on that amount sent through the IGT for covering some of the uncompensated care done by the hospital.
That 1115, you send 42 cents in and they send you back $1. It's a pretty good deal for the county. So that extra money will go, like Dick said, right into that. Any further discussion? And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you. Consider and take appropriate action regarding a request from the EDC for the creation of the Industrial Development Corporation.
Well, thank you, Judge, Commissioners. What this is there are quite a few industrial development corporations across the state. We've had a company that's interested in looking at what's called an industrial revenue bond, which are programs that are used to finance manufacturing projects across the country. And in order to take advantage of the bond program, the local area has to have what's known as an industrial development corporation. And you probably have in your packet there, the paperwork to create this organization. A couple of key points about the group. Typically, IDCs they're done by counties, some by cities, but the Industrial Revenue Bond Program doesn't use the faith and credit of the local government. It's what we know as a private activity bond, or also known as a conduit bond. Essentially, they're running through the bond through the Industrial Development Corporation, which is a political subdivision of the state. And that way they can take advantage of that lower rate through the bond program. And again, we do have a company that's looking, and in the future, if we have other companies looking, they can take advantage of this program. But again, the county is not putting up any credit or money into this. It's essentially just a conduit organization that ultimately issues the bonds, which have to be approved by the state, the bond review board, the governor's office, and you know, again, quite a few of these exist in the state and across the country. So I'll be happy to answer any questions about it.
Was this taken to the city also?
No, we talked about doing it with the city, but it makes sense in the county. If we have one, it could take place anywhere, you know, Crescent, Toller. So
that was my point. Yeah, what they're.
That way, it's easier to do that.
So we're not going to be getting sideways with the city in any fashion by.
No. And then what would happen if a bond did happen in the city? The city council, we would probably want them to at least do a resolution in support.
Just a district that we're making is nothing. There's no monetary value, or it didn't cost the county anything to be involved in this.
Correct.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Well, I have there's one little thing here. Motion made by Commissioner Berry and seconded by Commissioner Hetherington. But the contract needs to be just tweaked just a little bit because it still talks about the city of Granbury and.
Yeah, we'll get that change on 1.2.
Yes.
Bylaw is correct. Yeah, we'll get that changed. This should be county commission.
Okay.
So you want to rescind that till next quarter, or you want to do that based on?
We can, based on that changes. You know.
Motion will be then to approve this based on the correction.
Okay.
Second.
All right. And any further discussion? Then motion carry. No, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Opposed? Motion carried. I think I got a little ahead of myself there. All right. Authorize county judge to sign the Verizon contract. There he is.
Already here. Judge, Commissioners, this was just brought to our attention by Verizon a few days ago that every year we have to update that agreement, and that uses the DIR services agreement. And this is not really any change. There is no changes in what we can see from Verizon on any of our terms. So this is just an update so that we can go move forward and keep our services with using the DIR contract for Verizon Wireless. Is there any questions that I could answer on that? And I would like to do this based on, I wanted to make sure that Nelda was okay with that since it was a DIR, but it was okay. All right.
Anybody have any questions for Jackie? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Roan. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Commissioner Roan, you have something?
I would just like to call attention to the fact that we have a guest with us today that I think we should recognize, a former county judge and currently TAC employee, Lonnie Hunt, is visiting us because he has become a representative for our area that can help us with a lot of different issues. And I think we should make use of him. Lonnie, welcome. Okay.
Not abused, just used, right? Yeah. All right. Lonnie was a county judge in Houston County before he joined TAC, and so we are glad to have him up here. Do you wish to say anything to the court before you?
Well, you know, never asked a former county judge to get up and say anything.
That was a mistake.
I just say that thank all of you for what you're doing, and I know that there are a lot of other elected officials and department heads in the room too, and I commend you for what you're doing. I hope that you appreciate the trust that your citizens have placed in you, and your citizens appreciate the job you're doing. You know, we've got a presidential election going on, and most of us are going to vote in about a month and a half, and we're going to vote for the most important office in our country and arguably in the world for somebody that we don't know. I mean, you know, some small fraction of 1% of us may actually know one of these candidates, but yet we're all going to go and we're going to vote. But county officials get put in office by people who actually know them
and live with them and work with them and participate in the community with them. And I like to say that county government is a government of the people, by the people, for the people, but it's more than that, it's government among the people. So it's an honor for you to have that honor bestowed upon you by your citizens that actually know you best, that trust you to handle their business. TAC is here to help in any way we can. We work for you, and I'm looking forward to visiting with as many of you as I can while I'm here today, and thank you.
Thank you, Lonnie. Okay, it's 10 o'clock and we are adjourned.